Hey everybody, welcome to the UD6 first blind race. Have a seat, we're going to have 4 runners today, Luke Lirata, KTH, Trinix, and Wizuki. Those runners don't know or just know a little bit about Shovel Knight. They are going to run like blind. They just streaming their first playthrough or almost first playthrough. And I'm joined by someone who knows very well Shovel Knight and knows a lot about the game. Welcome with me today. Explode, you're here.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I hope everyone in chat is doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. A lot of questions. Well, I'm kind of used to it when you have a new runner coming, but when you have like 50 new runners, well, yeah, all over the place, answering questions and stuff, and I'm like, well, that's cool. I'm happy because first it gives me a chance to talk about Shovel Knight in French, which is very rare, to be honest. And it's cool in a way. Yeah, it's really cool.
So, for those who join on Speed Gaming 3 today and don't know about the UD, Ultime Decathlon is an open tournament, a speedrunning tournament that is made of 10 games. The first game is Shovel Knight, obviously. That's why this week will be dedicated on Speed Gaming to Shovel Knight for the UD streams. We'll have on Thursday a community race just to show after 4 or 5 days of training how far the runners are into Shovel Knight. And on Saturday we'll have the first tournament, which is going to be like 2 races in a row, back-to-back, of Shovel Knight. The fastest 2 times will win the tourney. It's just for fun so far. The actual UD proper competitive tournaments will only start on July. So for now, it's just one week at a time, one game at a time, and today is Shovel Knight. I've personally just beaten the game twice. I enjoyed a lot of it. Last time I played Shovel Knight was on 2014 for the game release, so a lot of memories there. So what's your experience with Shovel Knight, Explode? I know a lot of people that watch and have watched the Shovel Knight tourney know about you, but for those who don't know...
I have the 9th place on speedrun.com with a 44.46. I've been speedrunning the game since July 2014, so pretty much the release of the game. I'm a former world record holder of low percent, a former world record holder of Plague any percent. I have the 3rd best time in Spectre low percent. Well, I'm pretty much all over the place when it comes to Shovel Knight. I do pretty much everything.
Okay, so what's your time?
My time is 44.46, actually. But for the Ultime Decathlon now, since we have to resubmit a new PB, what we did before doesn't count anymore. Right now I have a 46.25.
Okay, nice. Today rankings don't matter. For now, the global leaderboard and the championship of the UD doesn't matter too much. We'll wait after 10 weeks to have the proper leaderboard for the 10 games. So UD, like the competition, doesn't start until like July. For now, it's just like training, grinding, racing together. The race is going to start in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So if you want to join the UD, you like what's happening there and you want to join and you don't know yet, you can register up until like way later this year. The grand final are going to be held live in France on the 28th of October. So that's a lot of time, and we're announcing the games one by one, and everything here is for community building, fun, learning how to race the game, learning how to handle unexpected situation, for the runners to be able to do like the 10 games in a row as fast as possible. So it's interesting. Shovel Knight is a tough game, isn't it?
Yeah, I like to call the game. It's I'm not gonna say easy, but it's a fun smooth experience usually when you play through it, but it's a hard to master game because you have a lot of very precise stuff to do. Even though the game is fairly simple, like the base game is fairly simple, you still have a lot of precise stuff to do. Shovel cancelling, using your relics properly, some bosses that have insane quick kills compared to like what you did in your playthrough, obviously. A lot of stuff to learn for Shovel Knight, yeah.
Okay. So the goal in the UD, having a good time, a good racing time, would be sub 1 hour. But that's not for today. Like, no one is expecting sub 1 hour from your first playthrough. It's going to take up to, I don't know, 3 to 6 hours, depending if you're going to hunt for the secrets and stuff. Yeah, the race should start actually now. And I hope the runners have the correct page and the race tool did work properly. But yeah, let's go. Is it starting? I'm confused.
Before start, apparently, from Luca, right?
Yeah, you're correct, apparently. Okay, let's go. Here
there we go.
Starts. So, yeah, Shovel Knight is a tough learning experience. First playthrough is probably going to take up to 6 hours, and then you're going to have like a smooth, gentle learning curve, I'd say, to get to the speedrun achievement that is about like 90 minutes in-game time for the run. Obviously, Trinix doesn't know anything about the game, so he got like the choose profile and choose the gender of the knights. That's not the proper timer starts when you validate the profile. But once again, he doesn't know the game, so he's just completely blind. If he wants to, he may like just read up the story and stuff like that. So no judging. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know. That's understandable. Okay, so there are a couple of tricks and tips to know here and there. What would be the first thing you would say to a runner that doesn't know Shovel Knight at all and is like, okay, I want to run this game, what do I do?
To be honest, the first thing you need to do is just proper movement. Like, it's dumb to say it like that, but a lot of people are like, I'm gonna learn that trick, and that trick. I think it's wrong, to be honest. Because in Shovel Knight, you can do a sub 1 hour without any hard trick at all. Just jumping and... oh, no, I have sound, wow. I'm surprised by that. Just doing good jumping, good attacks, and you'll be able to do a sub hour, like, fairly soon, let's say. But yeah, the first thing I say, because it's the first thing you have to do anyway, is jump at the beginning of the stage. Because when you jump at the beginning of the stage, you get your top speed at the... instantly. So because going from 0 to full speed is actually very slow for Shovel Knight, so yeah, it's better to jump right away.
Okay, Lucarata, KTH, and Wisuki blindly going at almost the same speed, getting to that dragon. There is like a huge trick, quite good-looking OOB type of trick here that I'm not going to learn personally, I think, because as you've just said, going for proper movement and proper route is going to matter the most. I'm very scared by the break the checkpoint mechanic, to be honest, because I know as an inexperienced player I'm going to die, and if I die and I broke all the checkpoints, that's run over, and I want to be able to get some runs going. So what do you say about that? Do you break the checkpoints, or do you go for more like careful route at the start?
I would say probably go for more careful route at the start, but if you have like a stage you're sure, you are confident in it, you can try to break 1 or 2 checkpoints in places where it's a bit safer. You have some places like in Primal Keep, you have some places that are somewhat safe. You have in Lich Yard as well, you have 1 or 2 places that are somewhat safe to break a checkpoint. But you also have some chests that are like somewhat easy to access and give a lot of gold. So you can go there to get some money. There is the first enemy on the map that we will see soon or soonish on someone's screen. Probably Wizuki. I'm gonna wait. There is also some money in that fire pit, so it's pretty interesting to break it. It's faster to. Some people don't know that, but you can actually leave that screen to the left instead of to the right. So it's faster.
Oh yeah, you are marginally centered to the left, so I didn't think about that. KTH here, leaving the town to the right. I feel like that's a bit longer, maybe.
Yeah, it's fairly slow. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. And so there, we won't see it yet. Oh yeah, it's gonna spawn after King Knight technically, or well, there's an NPC, well, a monster that's gonna appear on the map, and that monster can give a lot of gold. So if you want to go really safe and still use a lot of gold, it's a good way to find a lot of gold there.
Okay, so fighting the Hammer brother, or I don't know how you call him.
Yeah, we called him the Duck Knight.
Oh, okay, cool. I need to learn the proper terminology for that game. So when you get to the town, the first time you can get like a meal ticket, so you have 5 HP for the first level you do. That's optional. I guess you don't buy HP in the speedrun like any percent, do you?
Not at all, yeah. We don't get any HP, any extra HP.
4 HP is enough, but when you discover the game, like first you're into it, like my advice would be like get as many HP as possible. Careful Trinix, half a heart here against the Black Knight. Does a little magic and kill him sadly. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the first health upgrade is fairly cheap. It's only 1,000. It's after that it gets really expensive, like 4,500 and 6,000. It's a lot. But you can get free upgrades as well in Dreams that we will see later. So after Dreams, rather. So there is also that. If you want a free upgrade, you can get them in the chest. So it's also a good way to improve your health by a big margin, actually.
Yeah. So UD is built around racing and tournaments, and I like small tournaments, like just one shot or like couple of Saturdays tournaments. So it's going to be an intense game, I feel, because you have the opportunity to lose a lot of time depending on how it goes. If you break a lot of checkpoint and you die, you're going to lose a lot of time. Fights, like in particular the refights, are going to cost you a lot of time if you die in those. You are going to choose a different route depending on your skill level. And that's going to be intense, just to be able to watch and see the progress of the runners and see how good they're becoming or how confident they are. And sometimes it's not going to work. KTH barely making it here. I saw he was going to die, but he makes it. Oh no!
The trap!
Okay, so for those who don't know the game, breaking the checkpoints make it so the checkpoint doesn't count as a checkpoint, it's broken, but it gives you money. The money depends on the crystal you see inside the checkpoint. So if you see just a small crystal or a token, a coin, it's not going to be much, and if you see like a red crystal or a pink crystal, it's going to be worth a lot. So it's a way to get money, but it's risk and reward, obviously.
Now we have King Knight.
So Wisuki and KTH synced up for the second fight. I feel like they know a bit of the game. I know KTH told me that he spent about like 20 to 40 hours into the game, but not necessarily running the game, but he knows the mechanics. Maybe he did like Plague Knight and Spectre Knight. I don't know how Wizuki and Lucarata played. Like maybe they beat the game once or something. It's just the first UD race to get, or to get started. Trinix obviously doesn't know the game, so we see like a different specter of like a low skill level, and it's obviously, he's going to see, okay, those are locks. He has to do Primal Keep and the graveyard.
Yeah, now they're entering Lich Yard, which is the stage of Spectre Knight. Yeah. Which is probably, I like to call that stage the most dangerous stage of the game, because it's the difficulty curve between Primal Keep and Lich Yard is huge. Like, the fact that you have dark screen, where you don't see anything, the fact that you have a lot of enemies that have that are like more powerful. You have the frogs that have somewhat RNG and stuff like that. So I like to call that stage the most dangerous stage of the game. It's not obviously, but for the joke, I feel like it is.
I feel like the boss, Spectre Knight proper, is quite tough, to be honest. I feel like he's one of those who first is going to cost a lot of time to the new runners, but because like you can barely squeeze in like 1 or 2 hits per phases, when you know what you're doing, you're going to be like able to destroy the boss. So that's going to be a huge time sink. And you got like all those spikes that one-shot you. Like you got a lot of things to do. And that's the first level where you kind of have to know where the food is if you need like HP. There is like, you can just try it here, the screen KTH just passed, and that would have been like a no-brainer for a beginner to take that, just to get that health in his lacking.
Yeah, you also have those platforms that syncs when you have 2 or more objects on it. So it can be an object, an enemy, or Shogunai himself, and it will start to sync as soon as you have 2 of those elements on them. So it can be dangerous too. So like for example, there you have a platform where you have a frog, a skeleton, and Shovel Knight. So even if Shovel Knight jumps, the platform will not go back up. It will continue to sink. So
yeah, you have those spikes. If you jump too high, you're going to die instantaneously.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty deadly game there.
Okay, KTH trying to use the frog here to
go down. Yeah.
Platform. Nah, it kills it. Yeah. Okay.
If you are very lucky, it's possible, but you need to be very lucky.
Okay, so a little bit of RNG maybe in Shovel Knight speedrunning?
Yeah, there is a bit. It's not like major, at least for 80%, it's not like major RNG. You have those frogs that have different jump patterns. I think it's like up to 10 or something, but like it's very minor. You have the rats that has some minor RNG as well. And then you have the jaguars, those green enemies that we're gonna see later on in the game that fly. That technically doesn't have much RNG, but the small difference sometimes, the very small different patterns they do sometimes can kill you really fast. So you need to be careful with that.
Sadly, Wisuki just died. There were Lucarata and KTH are very close to each other. But yeah, sometimes you are going to die in those like sections. Those enemies hurt quite a lot actually in Shovel Knight. Not that each enemy, it does just half a damage per hit, but you just encounter so many of them. And KTH falling down in the black screen here.
Yeah,
dying.
Bound to happen, to be honest. It's probably the hardest screen of the stage by far.
Okay, careful with that ghost, Lucarata. And Lucarata first getting to the entrance of Spectre Knight fight. Probably the boss I hate the most, both like just the stage and his fight, and during the refights, like Spectre Knight is just a pain, I feel. But what I've read is that the boss first pattern is not RNG nowadays, right?
Yeah, basically now what happened, before Spectre was completely RNG, but like when I say that before, it was like in 2015 or late 2014, so it's a long time ago. But yeah, now how Spectre works now is that on the first pattern, he will teleport at the opposite bottom of where he is. So if he's on the left, he's going to teleport on the right, and if he's on the right, he's going to be teleporting on the bottom left.
Okay, cool. So you know that, and then you can position yourself so you can hit him as hard as possible right away. Okay, cool. I need to learn the boss fight. That's what I'm going to learn first. Like just getting my trainer up and be like, okay, what do I do not to die first, because dying costs a lot of time during those fights, and then to go remotely fast. And I feel like that's going to show during races. During the boss fights, who's fastest and who's slower. Wisuki right now is passing KTH because KTH is having quite a bad fight here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and when you make the fight going too long, your Spectre Knight starting to make the room dark and spawns skeletons, which are very deadly. Actually kill Wisuki.
Trinix is stuck here. He's not finding like the secret entrance. He just has to
fall. Ah, there we go.
the money. But yeah, it's a weird layout, and I feel like the game is built around observation quite a lot, and here the game is just like, hey, there's money, you should try to pick it up. So just learning how the game works and learning how what the intention of the developers, what they are and what they mean, is very important if you want to master Shovel Knight, I feel.
Yeah. So now we see that Luke Arata is picking up his first free meal ticket after the first dream of the game. So that's what I was talking about earlier. You have those chests that appear after each dream, and you can get a free meal ticket there, up to 3. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's quite a bunch of HP you can just expect to take up. But he's not going to
spend it,
redeem it yet, quite yet. He's going to Mall Knight stage. So the Lost City, I think it is.
Yeah, Lost City.
So one stage where there are quite a few tricks too, because there are a lot of auto scrollers, not proper auto scroller, but you have to not fall into the lava. That hurts. So a lot of things do when it KO you, like lava spikes. It's pretty much the same. Same stuff as in Mega Man. If you played Mega Man, you should know what's happening on the screen right now.
Yeah. Shovel Knight was created with the purpose of, not creating, but like, they were thinking about Mega Man 2, Zelda 2 as well, mainly due to the pogo and how Shovel Knight attacks.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Zelda 2 for that. Dark Souls is a big inspiration as well, because you have the checkpoints that are like the fires in Dark Souls. The fact that you lose money but you can get it back is the same system as the souls in Dark Souls. So yeah, you have all of that. We actually didn't speak about how the money works when you die. At least Shovel Knight is a bit nicer compared to Dark Souls for that, is that you don't lose all your money, rather. You lose a third of it. And you can grab it back.
Yeah. So for all those who are joining us today, don't know what's happening, we are doing a casual blind race of Shovel Knight for the start of the UD. UD is a speedrun tournament happening, like a long one, consisting of 10 games you have to learn and master, and join 3 tournaments during July, August and September later this year, but we're starting with just 10 weeks of discovering the games. First game is Shovel Knight, and today is the first blind race of the season, and we have Luke Arata, KTH, Wisuki, Trinix just going through Shovel Knight for the first time, or close for their first race, let's say. It's probably not their exact first time. But just to have a community build and fun experience, just to be able to talk about the game. I'm able to learn a lot of stuff from what Xploud is explaining and what I see on screen, because I noticed Xploud so many secrets I didn't know about, like so many things you can break, so many ways you can go. I'm always amazed to notice more and more in this game.
Something I probably should do, just for so people knows where everything is probably link the 100% wall record. That probably would help some people to know, oh, there's extra stuff there, and there, So maybe we should do that. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I actually need, I think, to do the 100% in the game, because I feel like that would be quite easy. Just because you have so much HP and stuff later on. So, like I don't expect the final stages to be too hard on 100%. Oh no, Arata jumping too early there before the green orb touches the lava and
that happened. Didn't lose much money because Arata didn't have much money anyway, so. And bought the Dust Knuckles, actually.
Yeah, he's the that was what I was going to say. He's the first one to have a relic on him. How do they work, and which one are very important in the speedrun?
So the relic spends mana that you can see below the item title at the top of the screen. Every relic uses a different amount of mana. It can go from 2 to up to 10, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, I'm not an 100% runner, so all the rigs I don't usually use, I don't remember them quite well, but, well, that's pretty much it. And usually what you will see, like the 3 major items you will see are the Dust Knuckles that we see right now. the flying dagger that we will see maybe later, and the mobile gear, which are all pretty much movement utilities items. You have the Dust Knuckles that can do some damage to some bosses, mainly Tink and Knight. You have also the Flying Dagger that can be used against Proper sometimes. Yeah, it's mainly for movement. And then you have some options for damage, like the Flare one, which is a very basic item that doesn't use a lot of mana. And I think it's 4 if I remember correctly, or 2 or 4, I don't remember exactly. Well, whatever. And you have other items, like another item like the Chaos Sphere that costs 6, so it's way... It doesn't feel like it's way more, but when you use it consistently, it adds up really fast, because it's 4 and 6, 8 and 12.
Yeah.
12 and 16 goes really fast. 12 and 18, rather.
So at the start of the game, you have only 30 mana. But you can buy an armor that adds 50 to your pool, so that's quite a lot. Obviously, it's used in any person speedrun, but the catch is you take twice as much damage when you get
Not
hit.
exactly, actually. That's really funny that you say that, because it's a misunderstanding often, is that it's not taking double damage. So let's say a bubble of life is 1 health, right?
Yeah.
If you take... That means that the ping armor, so the controller's armor, is gonna do 0.5 damage extra on each hit you take. So for example, if an enemy does 0.5 damage, you take 1 damage. If an enemy does 1 damage, you do 1.5 damage. And so forth and so forth.
So for most of the damage, because you take like half a it's not heart, half a heart on of health, so it's going to be twice, but for those stronger hits, you are going just to take 50% extra. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know about it. So
for example, you have enemies that are very deadly against the Conjurer's armor. You have Treasure Knight that does a full order of damage with his Encores. So there's that. Proper is insanely deadly against the Conjurer's armor, because he has an attack that do 1 full damage as well. So you need to be careful with those bosses. And you have some enemies that do full damage as well.
Yeah. So especially when you have only 4 hearts, you have to be super careful. When you have like KTH is already at 7 because he bought 2 and he got the extra 1 from the Dream, so he's way safer. He's having some trouble in the Lost City, while Lucaranta just completed it, joining Wizuki. Wizuki actually started with the Explodatorium.
Who just died, actually, in the Explodatorium, speaking of it.
It's very tough. It's a tough level.
Yeah, Explodatorium is a very hard stage. Well, as a stage is already very hard, but it's the first stage where we see Global Cycle appearing. And those global cycles can be very hard to get to, especially if you want the optimal one.
Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of global cycles in Shovel Knight, and sometimes if you go too slow, you're going to miss like either an opportunity or just straight lose time, because it's going to be tough to a tougher cycle when you get to the point. So that's interesting. I feel like it's going to be it's going to give like huge bonuses, like time saver for those who make it through the cycle they know. And if you miss the cycle, you are going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah. What's interesting about Shovel Knight global cycles, at least in Exploratorium, is that I've been running the game for 4 years, so I know like 4 or 5 different cycles that works depending on how fast you go. So you have, for example, you have the 80% optimal one that is basically you need to do a very precise dust knuckle movement to get to it, otherwise you just can't make it. And the backup of that strat is the low percent strat, actually, which is very interesting. So if you miss like the movement a bit of dust knuckles, and you know the low percent cycle, you can get back into another somewhat good cycle, and then you have other cycle after that. But there's actually a really cool trick. I think I'm gonna talk about it when KTH gets to it, because you have when you enter the big room, or actually Lucaretta is gonna get to it right now. There is you have that huge room with all the parts, but then you have a flying enemy that comes to you on the right. You'll see it pretty soon.
Yeah, the crazy
right
rabbits.
there. If you wait, yeah, we could actually. Those are fairies.
Oh, those are
Better,
fairies.
you know, yeah. Actually, if you wait for the platforms to jump, stay on them, and then pogo that very fairy, you can go at the top of the screen and just avoid all the pots.
Oh, nice. So that's yeah.
That's
Mario
the way
style.
how we did the low percent at the beginning, actually.
Okay.
So it's a very good thing to know. You just wait for that fairy to come, you pogo on it, and you get at the top, and you can just go straight to the right without any issues.
Lucaranta doing the exact same mistake as Mizuki did earlier, just keeping pogoing on that room. You can cancel your pogo just slashing, and it's very important because sometimes you feel like you're committed to pogoing forever, and you actually can cancel that. Lucaranta just did it there. Oh, and just getting bodied by the slime.
So yeah, the three most known enemies for RNG are the frogs, those slimes, and the Jawas that we will see later. So yeah, those slimes can be very deadly because usually they move either slowly or fast, but they can jump sometimes. And something that's very weird is that they can jump in midair too. They are capable of doing a midair jump. I don't know why, but they can.
Okay, they have that double jump ability. Okay, it's some enemies to just get keep an eye on. So Lucaranta is using his Dust Knuckle mostly to kill enemies, but you said like it was just also like a good movement item.
Oh,
so I think
it's both,
So it's just like those items that you are relics that you are going to use all the time, and Lucaranta fighting like that mini boss. Are runners able to one cycle it before it transforms, or do you have to suffer the transformation?
You have to suffer the transformation unless you do the Chaos 3 route. The Chaos 3 route is capable of killing that mini boss before it transforms. It's very precise.
Okay, nice. So that's something also to think about when you choose your round, like how hard it is and how much time it saves, and how hard it makes or easy it makes some part of the run. So
yeah, actually, well, it's just my philosophy, I guess. But I rather go for the item I enjoyed the most. That's what I was doing before, because at some point we realized, Chaos Sphere became the fastest route, then Flare 1 became the fastest route again. Then actually we realized, it's faster to not get anything, just go for item movement. And then recently, because of Kilai that made the task of Shovel Knight, we realized, the coin is actually faster now. So yeah, it's a lot of... the coin is insanely hard. I wouldn't suggest anyone to do it unless you're like very, very good at the game and you think you can gain time with the coin, but otherwise I would not suggest it.
Yeah, so the coin makes it so you can like skip a lot of parts, but it's very, very small skips. It's just like one less jump, one less step to go on. So you have to consistently remember and get all those little tiny skips. With like an item, you can pogo mid-air and cast, but it's quite like, it's not a double jump ability or anything like that. It's very hard to master, I feel. So
the coin is insane,
It's if you haven't seen like Kilai tasks of Shovel Knight, Plague Knight, and Spectre Knight, I do recommend his work. He's a good friend of mine, and he does like insane tasks. So if you haven't seen those, like those are filled with crazy tasks on these strats, and I love them.
Yeah, Kilai is one of the guys that forced me back into Plague Knight 80% because I found the route that he was using with the new item there was so fun. I was like, I have to do it. And actually improved my PB by 2 minutes, so I was happy with that.
So we see Wizuki finishing the Explodatorium while Lucaranta, but remember, he didn't do Lost City. While Lucaranta is at the boss, KTH having a bit of trouble in the Explodatorium, but we can understand, but that goes better for him because he has more HP than Lucaranta, and that might...
Lucaranta is doing well, actually.
Yeah. I'm very scared by Plague Knight, but no, he does it perfectly. 30 minutes into his 5th boss, he's going to go to Treasure Knight. I don't remember the name. I will learn all... the Iron Well, thanks. I will learn, I promise, all the level names and all the tricks and stuff, but that's why UD is so long. You have a lot of time to get used to it. So... Sorry.
To be honest, after 4 years, I still forget sometimes the name, so...
Okay, I won't feel bad then, great. Yeah, for those who just join us and don't know what's happening on screen, it's just a friendly community race for the UD6. UD started just yesterday with the release, the announce of the first game, which is Shovel Knight, obviously. UD is just a speedrun challenge consisting of learning 10 games for like you have about 6 months to do so. So that's a long and intense challenge, and we get to know all those runners and get to see their progress. Lucarata using on top here is Knuckle, but falling down with the enemy.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It's actually a legit strat, but you need to do a pogo at the end, not killing him with the Dust Knuckle. Just the small thing that he forgot to do. Well, I forgot, he doesn't know about it. But,
well, yeah, he's
you know
going
what I mean.
to train, but yeah. So we are at about like 6 minutes per stage. I feel that that's very good. Oh no, that's the trap.
Yeah, another trap.
Yeah, he got like, that's the clever and mean design sometimes. While Trinix gets his second boss killed. Trinix is, I think, the only runner that is truly blind on those.
Yeah,
four,
I think so.
The other one, they told me like yesterday they wanted to do the blind race. So well, it's a first race. It's not a blind race, and I know like they either trained or played like a long time ago, and it's okay. It's just for fun. No one is winning anything today. During the UD, runners will be able to win a trip to France, to the finals, to play live. That's the only thing there's to gain in the UD. But the race today doesn't count for that, so... I remember the crazy strat in Lucarata's room right now in the task, just to kill all those 4 enemies at the same time. Here you have to wait and painfully go back and forth to kill those 4 sea snakes.
Yeah. You have different strat depending on the items you're using. Chaos Sphere helps a lot in that room because you throw 2 orbs as soon as you enter the screen and you kill everything. So you don't lose much time there. If you don't have a projectile or are using Flare Wand, it's another story. There you need to do like, you need to attack the first one, pogo the second one, then do a damage boost on the third one to kill the third one, then walk on the spikes and kill the fourth one.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, it's not a fun experience when you learn that because you're gonna die to those spikes a lot.
Yeah, I feel that's interesting. Lucarata using the knuckles here.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
The boss. Nice. So he has just like that weak spot inside the chest, and he wants to kill it with that. 2 cycles here. Very nice. And he's going to buy maybe the Anchor. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah, okay, yeah, it is.
To be honest, it's not about. To be honest, I feel like I've been thinking about trying to route a run with the Anchors, but I never tried to do it because I was more focused on trying to get a better time with the room routes. But I think you can do decent with the Anchors actually, especially if you're not confident on the proper Knight fight and the Tinker fight. Those Anchors are very deadly to those 2 bosses. So,
and the good thing about it is you just have to get a bit extra money because the chest is on the route, so you're not losing much by buying it. So that's at least something you gain here. Do remember that if you stand on the little platform here on the left, you are going to not get through the pit with the projectile, and if you are surprised by that, you are going to die. I just died today like that. I was like, oh, I didn't know. Oh no, Lucarata getting tricked by the fully Anchors.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I was saying just earlier, a lot of tiny little details there are to know in Shovel Knight, and I feel that's why the speedrun is so long to learn. Like, you have a lot of things to go through. Oh, okay, barely making it here. I was scared for a second. Oh no! Okay, he did it!
Saved!
Saved! Okay, so yeah, Lucarata right now is in first place in this fun race. KTH is having trouble here, but not falling through spikes on that room. It's nice.
Yeah.
And Wisuki is actually doing his 4th boss here, so he's going to open the door to but first you will have to do the Iron Whale, the level where Lucarata is at.
You just died to spikes.
Yeah, sadly those spikes do one shot,
So and welcome to the hardest boss of low percent, which is Treasure Knight.
His
So,
is one
as a
long
joke, we
boss.
like to call him the hardest boss of low percent because of the fact that he's one of the only bosses that actually have a full heart of damage attack. Actually, two of them. And it's somewhat RNG, so yeah. Actually, speaking of RNG, we didn't speak about Plague Knight. Plague Knight is insanely RNG, but you can manipulate him to a certain extent. He will always jump towards you or above you if you are close to him. So if you stand next to him, he's gonna jump above you and then you can follow him. And as soon as he lands again, you can attack him and so forth and so forth. You can get consistent fights, but there will still be a bit of RNG involved in it. Not much, but still. But obviously, the better you're gonna get, the less RNG you're gonna get.
You have like about like 5 patterns per boss, and the patterns that they do are either set. Like I feel like Propeller Knight has always the same like thrusting attack, then like propelling you, then going to the air. So not much RNG here. And then you have the bosses where they are like complete chaos because their patterns depend on their positioning, and their positioning their movement depends on you, like Plague Knight.
Yeah.
And the mid-range here is like Treasure Knight, where he has just a set of attacks and he's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah. At the beginning, what's interesting is that he's always gonna do he's always gonna do an encore attack, and then either he's gonna pull himself or get the encore back to him. That's something that, well, you can react to it, basically. So either you continue to attack him if he pulls himself, or if he pulls the encores back, you jump above the encore. It's a reactive fight more than a RNG fight, actually. The only big RNG you don't want to see is the fact that he goes to the ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But you're not going to lose much time because all the patterns allows you to as fast. Okay, I get it.
You have Flare 1 that helps a bit at the beginning of the fight because you can throw fire attacks from afar. And you have Chaos Fear that just destroys Treasure Knight and pretty much negates all the RNG of Treasure Knight, pretty much.
Okay, sweet. Lucaretta used the what's it called, the catapult to go back to the first town and get his HP upgrades.
Yeah.
He's going. Yeah, oh, he could have bought like the flare round or like another meal ticket, or he could have bought like the Chaos Sphere or a couple of upgrades he missed in the previous levels. But he chose not to do so. He's maybe going to buy the Propeller Knight dagger here.
Maybe, yeah. He has enough money, so maybe that's what he's planning. And we have Wizuki fighting Reese, which is one of the optional bosses.
So that's the
nice dodge. Oh, he killed him. Nice.
So those are behaving like in Super Mario Bros. 3, the Hammer Brothers. So they're just like on the map, and if you just touch them, they're going to fight you. They can cost quite a lot of time, but they are not that much of a trouble in speedrun anymore.
Yeah, no, they used to be a huge problem. For example, you had all the NPC appearing as soon as you enter the town, or if you went not fast enough, they would appear anyway. Now what happens is that to activate other bosses, you need to kill Reese, which is the guy we saw Wizuki killing right now. Mm-hmm. And you also need to enter the second town, if I'm correct. Or they're all gonna appear after an hour of a run. So usually in any percent you don't see them, obviously.
Yeah, and, because like 1 hour is just the time to complete the game, so you just don't see them at all.
You don't see them, yeah. And also you have what I was gonna say, I don't remember now. I was talking about RNG on the map. I don't remember what.
I'm sorry, I took the.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I spoke. I shouldn't have.
I just don't remember what I was gonna say. But whatever, let's continue. I probably will remember it.
So Propeller Knight level is interesting because it has like different sections. The first one is like just the ascension of the ship, where you can fall down back to the beginning, not dying when you fall into the pits. I like that. Then you have like a more like casual getting into like platforming part, and then it becomes chaos with the wind section. And I sure like it's just a pain to do correctly, and when you discover the game, you will die a lot into those. So that's what's starting right now, pretty much. And it's going to be interesting to see what part of the game are going to matter the most in speedruns and in races. And I feel like Proper Knight. Okay, he passed.
Because what he did actually is that when you have too much health, you can't die fast in the dream. It's not possible. Yeah. What he did is that he went at the top of the screen, pogo an enemy, and catch Shield Knight right away, which is a really good strat actually.
Yeah, those dreams have like I've read like some guides specifically for the dreams, and I find that like funny because it looks like it's just like, you know, just a bot to wait through it, and actually you can save time in those like cutscenes.
On the second and third dream, there's two crazy strats when you can die and catch Shield Knight at the top of the screen at the same time.
So decisions are happening on KTH stream. He doesn't know what armor to buy. Yeah. The black armor you don't want because it's going to make you like slide slightly, and it's going to dampen your movement quite a lot. You want
it reduces knockback though, so in a way, yeah. Okay, he's going.
Oh, he's getting it. So we're going to see if that's either a good idea or a bad idea. If he knows. Well, if he takes his time, anything works pretty much. Like, you can do whatever you want. He doesn't know the catapult, apparently. Or maybe he chose not to use it. But yeah, the purple armor is what you want because it makes so much more use of your relics. And relics makes you able to kill everything faster, and anything dead will not hurt you, especially bosses. So that's what you want.
But it's a very dangerous armor to get, so I can understand why KTH went for the black one. And it makes your movement weird, but it reduces your knockback. So, for example, there, if Rizuki had the armor, he wouldn't die.
Yeah, that's true. It's a useful one, but yeah, just be careful. Remember that you are going to slide just a little bit. So KTH entering the flying machine.
Yeah, we like to call it the dying machine.
The dying machine.
It's probably one of the most deadliest. One of the most deadly. Sorry, or one of the deadliest. There you go.
Yeah. He's streamed by both French native speakers. Here we go. So. Yeah, the dying machine, because we just saw like the Jawas, those green propeller enemies.
Flying guys,
yeah. Those flying guys are going to kill you, push you away, and move randomly. Is that correct?
They don't exactly. Well, let me explain. They move. They don't technically move randomly. They will always go towards you and trying to blow you. But they have a bit of RNG of how they position themselves compared to you. Like it's they're gonna be 2 pixels higher, 2 pixels lower, 2 pixels a bit on the back, 2 pixels a bit more towards you, stuff like that. So
yeah, since you're not always exactly at the same exact pixel, they are going to be slightly higher or lower than usual, and they're going to be right on your path and kill you, I guess.
Well, as far as I remember, if Killa is here, he can correct me, but I remember seeing him doing the task on his stream, and he had to re-record like 5 or 6 times for the Jawas to be at the perfect position with the exact same movement. So they still like, it's very slight. You might not notice it at all when you try to practice, and then sometime in a run you're like, I'm dead, what happened? What happened? And those Jawas were just being jerked actually, and yeah, just, well, screw you. Probably it happens very rarely, to be honest.
Yeah, the best 2 rooms in the game right now. For Lucaranta with that wind and those spikes everywhere, and
too bad.
So hard. So you cannot go too fast, but you can go faster if you know exactly what you're doing. But the slightest mistake is going to one-shot you. So whatever your HP, whatever your pace, it's going just to kill you around. So you have to go slow, to be patient, and that really is hard and a huge toll for a speedrunner. Just going slowly is not something you want to do. And I feel like not having the fire wand here makes it harder. Yeah, nice. Anchor throw. No!
Oh.
Oh my god, just doing the hardest part and then dying here.
That's unfortunate. Especially since the checkpoint is actually, you say, oh yeah, you're gonna say, yeah, it's not that far, it's 2 screens back. But it's 2 screens back, and those 2 screens are insanely long. That's the issue there. And insanely deadly too, so...
Yeah. Once you pass like the first room and you die on the second, you're surprised that the checkpoint is not right at the beginning of the second room.
Yeah.
Okay, careful. You have to pogo those cannon.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
He's good. There we go.
Cannonballs were nice enough, and we have like a little bit of HP right before the boss, hidden in a wall. Let's remember that. If you need HP, you always can get a refill before the boss. And now we're going to see the power of the anchor against propeller knights. And yeah, if you have like good timing and proper attack cancelling, you can like just one cycle that guy.
Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest fights when you start. But once you know the quick kill and you're capable of doing it, it's basically a non-existent fight. But yeah, the fight is very hard at the beginning.
So yeah, if you are interested, if you like what you see, if you want to run a Shovel Knight with us, do remember that you can join BUD. The registration or stay open. So if you want to join us, if you want to come, you can, not a problem. If you already run Shovel Knight, you can just join our fun races. No one will judge, even if you're winning, it's okay. If you want to just get into speedrunning, it's a good way to start. And if you want to, you know, just start with Shovel Knight, you might like it enough just to learn the other 9 games. So yeah, just get to that exclamation mark UD in chat and you'll have all the information you need. We have a question from Taker about armors. If you don't want to take twice as much damage, can you consider like a viable option to take the gray armor that gives you the free charge slash?
After 2 pogos, I would say yes, actually. To be honest, because we did back then we did a race as a joke where we would not use all the main items of the 80% route, and every time the ammo that everyone would get is that one.
Okay, so it's the second best, let's say.
Pretty much, yeah, I would say.
And it doesn't give you like the HP penalty, so if you want to be safe, it's probably like the best one to start with to get comfortable with the boss fights, and then you'll have like. Once you pass to into purple armor, maybe you'll be better at the game and you'll have like a better, more gentle learning curve and learning experience for the speedrun. So, okay.
And we have KTH having the same trouble as Licareta had before, going through those rooms.
Yeah, very tough rooms. He's taking it slower, I feel.
And we have Licareta that goes to mobile gear.
Yeah, he's buying a lot of relics right now. He has like the knuckles, the dagger. He's having the gear, and he already have the anchor. So that's 4 out of 9 there are, because there are 9 bosses, I guess.
Wait, no, there's 8, but there's 2 extras that are the fishing rod and the Chaos Sphere that are only available in the village.
Oh, the Chaos Sphere is not linked to any bosses. I didn't know that. Cool.
No.
And KTH dying during the second screen here, and he will painfully realize that he have to do the first screen all over again. And yeah, he's slashing like from frustration having to wait here. And this screen is very slow. It's worse than an auto-scroller, I feel, because it's, you know, wind mechanics always kind of blow.
And as David said, which is also Shovel Knight Runner, it might be better off buying the charge slash right away than buying the silver armor, because at least there you can charge it all the time. The advantage of having the silver armor is that after 2 pogos, your attack is charged, and you don't have the movement penalty of the charge slash. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I feel like the charge slash is actually a big toll because you have to remember to use it. you have to use it properly, and it takes time to use. So it's maybe good, very good when you're experienced with it. But if you're not if you're just going slowly, I feel like charge armor is good just to get used to the fact that having a more powerful attack, and then
probably
I don't know, but the learning experience of each runner is very different each time, and it's very interesting to see, and that's why I love managing the UD, because you see all those runners having different strats at the start and doing different things on stream and doing different things during races, and as the time passes, everybody merges into the same, mostly the same route or the same strats, but just through a different path, and I like that a lot.
To be honest, I like the fact that Lucarita and KTH went for the encore. It's not a relic that we see ever in any person run, so I like that a lot, to be honest.
Lucarita not using his mobile gear here, even though
he's gonna.
Oh, okay, he's going to do it on the second section. Okay, so that allows you to ride on the spikes, and it's very useful on the Polar Knight stage, like the stranded ship. You can pass through the end screen very fast and very safely.
Yeah, the two main usage are the Clockwork Tower and the Polar Knight stage, and something at the end of Clockwork Tower. We'll talk about it later, if any runner thinks about it, obviously.
A very nice grab here from Lucarita with a hidden chicken that gave him full HP. Very nice to know about it, I feel. Because if you're just if you made, I don't know how much the world record takes regarding HP inside a level. Do you try not to take any damage, or do you have intentional damage and sometimes you need HP?
You have intentional damages, but usually if you do everything optimally, you don't take any health.
Okay.
Besides, maybe before the boss rush.
So those are just backups. You have to know them just in case in a race it doesn't go well, but it's not needed.
You have some health that is basically very free to get because they are just on your way. And if you jump and attack at the same time, it will still open the plate, and you can continue moving and grab the health, so you don't lose time actually by doing that. There is health there too, on the right side, the wall. But if you want to get it, you have to wait to not make the stairs go down, otherwise you can't get it anymore. Oh, and there we go, the character one-shot the Tinker with the gear. There we go.
Gear-dependent fight. Kyuketsuki said in chat, very nice, fun, and it's good to know because it's a two-phases fight, and having just one of them free is pretty good for time-wise. So you can get on top of Tinker Knight's armor and just pogo his head. So that's a good way to fight him. You can also use your knuckles to go back and forth inside his head and just deal a ton of damage. But let's remember, Lucarita doesn't have the extra 50 mana because he's still in the regular proper Shovel Knight armor, and very nice with the anchor here.
A good backup for Tinker. Oh, Katia just died. Unfortunate. So those missiles you see actually called Sighing Daggers, because why not? Yeah, let's put, I don't know, a firepower thing in the back of a knife, and there you go, you have an enemy. But those are basically the Medusa heads of Castlevania, for those who knows. But compared to the Medusa heads, if I don't say something wrong, they have the same pattern, so they always go up and down, which hence the name Sighing Daggers. But they will appear at different heights. They will not appear at the same height all the time. And there can be a different number of them on the screen as well. For example, in that room, Muncha Koopa, which is the current holder of low percent, that room is actually insanely deadly in low percent. In any percent, it's easier because you have Flying Dagger, so you can just crew. You can just fly through it and usually you're fine. But in low percent, Muncha got that room once with 16 daggers in it. And when you have 16 daggers, you're like, where do I go? Because you just can't go anywhere. But usually with the Flying Dagger, just get through. You just fly through it, and you have 2 or 3 at best. So usually it's very painless. But when you start, you see those Sighing Daggers chasing you like that, KTH.
Yeah, KTH dying again here, sadly. Having a lot of trouble on that that screen. Maybe having the black armor here doesn't help. Yeah, let's... I had something clever to say. Oh yeah, about the ladders actually. And there are a lot of ladders inside the game, and you want to jump right at the top of the ladder to gain time. That's it.
Yeah, to gain top speed basically. Yeah. Okay. You also have the fact that you can change the direction of your damage boost on the ladder depending on if you are holding up left or right, and it works as well when you are going up the ladder. So if you hold up left and take a damage, you will fall to the right, and the opposite when you're holding up right.
Okay. So,
which is important actually in the stage where Lucarita is. So maybe we'll see that later, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to remember the proper movement. That's what you started the game with, the stream with. Movement optimization is crucial in that speedrun. Even probably more than the items and relics usage and stuff like that. The proper knowledge of Shovel Knight movement is what's going to save you most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna talk about. It was actually about Reese. So the map guy Reese you see used to be able to go pretty much anywhere, but they made an update fairly recently. Lucarita just died there.
Right before the checkpoint. That's
painful. Very unfortunate. So yeah, Reese, he will not move past World 2 anymore. So he will not be able to, for example, you are gonna leave for World 3, which is where Lucarita and KTH and Wizuki are right now. Reese is not able to block you anymore to the path of that world.
Okay,
so you can just go to it without worrying about Reese being on your way, which used to happen a lot before. So yeah, it's a good thing they made that. It's actually pretty recent, so yeah.
So if Lucarita does complete the stranded ship here before the 1 hour mark, pretty much, he's not going to see in his path like all the other enemies on the map, like the Black Knight refight. There is like I don't know what the other two guys are.
There is Phantom Striker, which can be an insanely dangerous boss. And there is well, people are gonna hate me for the fact I forgot his name because it's a very the bass,
okay.
That guy can be insanely dangerous too, so you need to be careful about that. Oh, by the way, as much as the water physics in Shovel Knight is nice, the ice physics is not as nice as the water physics. So you need to be careful about that, because when you attack an enemy, you get a huge knockback on the ice, and you need to be careful. Actually, what's really funny is that I discovered, and it was using the task, that knocking yourself back on the ice is faster than walking on it.
Nice.
But you need to jump at the end, because at the end you have a huge slowdown, which is kind of weird, but I guess it's... Oh, and we have Lucarita that just got an achievement for using the Encore. Very nice.
It's three hit with 1 Encore achievement, and we just had like a proper Tinker fight. Phase 1 on KTH stream. So
KTH actually.
Yeah, but he probably just don't even know about that. I figured that out like just very late in my Shovel Knight experience.
So Wizuki is there if you hold up left, and take the damage on the second guy. You can actually end up on the ladder on the right and just go past through the Viking. That's one of the strats with the damage boost.
Oh, and the Viking, the third one.
Yeah, that Viking doesn't reappear. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You have some enemies that don't spawn back. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's nice. So that's meant, I guess. So if you fell down after killing him, you don't have to go through like the cycle again.
It's to be fair for the game, for the player. Yeah.
Cool. So Lucarita is seeing Polo Knight. He's hate boss. You can, as demonstrated here, throw the snowball back at him, but it doesn't hurt him. It's just like make it so it doesn't shovel them back.
Yeah, Polo Knight is considered by the dev and also often by the newest player as the most dangerous boss just because of those spikes on the ground.
Yeah, I guess.
because they one-shot you.
If you touch the spike, you die, and that's why I like having a lot of HP. I can just face check the boss, and I'm going to do the whole fight in iframes and not take any risk. So that's cool.
Yeah, the damage boost strat is really legit in here. So no problem with that. Even with the Conjurer's Armor, actually, because since you have a big health heal before the fight, you can go with you can take up to 3 damage boosts, and yeah, you can do that fight like that as well.
KTH having his black armor, saving him quite a lot of times. Like he's just not getting as much knockback, and that's preventing him from falling to his death, like, I don't know, maybe 5 times already in that run. So I feel like I underestimated that armor.
It's actually pretty strong, especially in Polo Knight stage. Its main usage, I feel like, is there. Clearly.
I need to watch a 100% run of that game just to see. With so many more options you have to get, you may sometimes make use of it. So I guess the armor is always the Conjurer armor, but sometimes you will switch back and forth with all the other relics you are getting here and there. So I will get into watching that probably after the stream. Just watching. I need to watch a lot of Shovel Knight just to get into understanding all the mechanics and stuff. That's good way to learn. And Lucarata is starting his Willy Fortress, Enchantress Tower.
Yeah, Tower of Fate, they call it. Yeah, the Ascent of Tower of Fate,
So, the idea behind the stage is just like a huge mess of everything you encountered before, right? It's just like you have every trap, everything, like the rats from Primal Keep and the blackouts part from Spectre Knight's stage and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff happening, and you have to know how to handle all that stuff.
Yeah, we basically call that stage a Gauntlet of Shovel Knight because you have to face everything you faced up until now. So. And usually it's the most deadly things are back. So yeah, like the griffins, the spikes, those alchemist guys, you have the rats, you have the slimes, you have the fairies. Yeah, everything that is very deadly in any stage, they're all back in here. So it's probably one of the hardest stages of the game by far.
Okay,
a very unfortunate dagger there.
But just after the checkpoint, so not too bad of Lucarata, I noticed we just passed the 1 hour mark. 1 hour is going to be like the goal for the runners during like the UD6 tourneys proper, like the July tournaments and stuff. So I feel like that's not too bad of a goal because Lucarata is almost like at the end of the game, and he's obviously experimented with Shovel Knight, but probably not like he didn't got into grinding Shovel Knight yet. He's just like he just knows about the game, I feel.
Yeah, in this stage you actually have the introduction of those crushers. Those walls are trying to crush you. Can be very deadly. Usually it's pretty smooth to go through them. You don't have much to do, but yeah, it can be deadly.
Yeah, you cannot go too fast. Like you have to know exactly where to stop, or you'll get crushed. So you have to be careful. Yeah, we're going to see soon the last type of enemies, like the samurai guys.
Yeah, those,
those here that are very interesting and deal a lot of damage and move like very fast. So you have to know how to trigger them, and they're very weak, like 2 hits and they die.
Yeah, and later on we will have a variant of them, which are the goo archers, which are probably even more dangerous than those guys. So. And there they are actually. This one there.
Okay, you have to, like, they move and they jump and they keep like shooting at you, so you have to remember to dodge. But Lucarata not having like the Conjurer armor actually has a lot of HP. Like I did the game twice with the pink armor, and taking more damage means that you are going to die way faster. So he's a tank right now. I feel like he's choosing a correct path to take his time and get through the game, like being sure to finish the game. That's a good way to do it.
Oh yes, it's a good decision. I feel like Shovel Knight is one of those games where you want to finish runs to very much learn the game. like if you're like, oh, you're 3 minutes behind, oh yeah, it's fine, just continue. Maybe you get 5 minutes back because you just did a stage very well. You didn't expect to do very well, so. Especially since Shovel Knight is considered as a long platformer for a platformer, so.
Yeah, it is. It is a longer speedrun, like Mega Man X or what is it? Like all those longer, like DKC kind of lengths, like lengthier than your average, like Mario 1 or NES games that are just about like 15 minutes. So yeah, we have the first, the last refight of Dark Knight here happening.
Yeah.
So this guy is brutal.
Very nice. Playing tennis with Black Knight there. Very nice. Yeah, Black Knight has a stun lock that exists for both his first appearance, his second appearance, and his third appearance. The problem with that is that people think usually that, oh, I can do the Black Knight 1 stun lock. Oh, I'm gonna do this Black Knight 3 stun lock. They are very, very wrong. The Black Knight 3 stun lock is very, very hard actually, because it's basically, it looks like the same, but the timing for not him to get out of it is very tight. We don't know exactly how many frames you have. We expect actually it's frame perfect, but since the game is the Shovel Knight, the Attack of Shovel Knight has very long active frames, it makes it a bit easier than frame perfect, obviously. So you have a big window to hit that frame perfect hit, basically.
Nice, very nice of him. But yeah, he has only. Oh,
I didn't grab Knight barely. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, those are intense fights, and yeah, I think like Black Knight and the refights are the boss rush are what makes like the final phase of the game very tough. Like this is what's where most of the time sink is going to happen for a lot of players.
Oh yeah. Shovel Knight, I feel like if Shovel Knight is known for something, is how his trifecta of last stages is hard for any character actually. It's true for Shovel Knight, it's true for Plague, and it's insanely true for Spectre Knight, so yeah. Yeah, it's what makes it fun actually. But the good thing is that at least for 90%, there's not much RNG involved in the last bosses. So at least you have got that going for you.
I love the tennis with Black Knight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Fun thing in the game, like just being able to go back and forth with him. But yeah, very good stage from Lucarata here, and KTH is. I missed it. Okay, he's doing like the.
Yeah, he's gonna get health again.
Okay, he's going back to town to do.
He's gonna have an issue because he have enemies on the map that are in front of Tower 1 right now, so that's gonna be a big problem for him. We'll see how he handles that. Either he leaves the map, the game, and re-enters the game, or he fights them. We'll see.
So yeah, Lucarata is having a very good run. Like probably not like maybe his first speedrun or so. KTH is having like an interesting route. He has a lot of money, he's spending a lot of it, like getting a lot of stuff.
Oh, he got I forgot about that. There's also an item called the Eye Core, which is basically a potion that you can, well, a chalice that you can buy. You can have up to 2. And there is on the right side of where is actually going KTH. Oh, we're gonna have. There we go. Look who's there.
Hello. Damn. So yeah, those enemies. Well, not enemies.
And there he's buying the red one, and you're gonna see the dance.
Nice.
That's so cool. Usually it's an incentive in marathon runs and stuff to see that dance, so it's pretty cool to see it. The Trouble King. So nice. And what's cool is that the dance is different for each character. So, well, Trouble King is not the Spectre Knight campaign, but in Plague Knight campaign you will see a different dance.
Sweet.
And we have the music since we have KTH sound, so it's pretty cool actually. Basically, Trample King is selling I-cores to, not selling, but giving I-cores to Shovel Knight if you have a Chalice or two. And you can have, if I remember correctly, you have the Heal Potion, you have the Mana Potion. There KTH got the Health Potion twice, so he has two Chalices. And you have the Money Potions, which lets you grab money from afar, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is. Those I've never seen. I've never found like that guy on my first playthrough, so that's interesting. I feel
you
like
need to go to it later. Actually, if you go straight to it, he's not gonna be there.
No.
You need a Chalice, I think, if I remember correctly, to actually activate him.
So yeah, good to know. Maybe like an interesting backup strat, or just something like some players might want to do, just to be a bit safer.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Totally fine strat. And the heal potion gives you full health, so either you have full health or 4 hearts or 12. It will give you your back fully, all your hearts anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. The safer you are, the better the item is, and the safer you are, or the safer you are, maybe the more you are going to want it. So that's good for everyone involved. And
Black Knight is on the way. He's gonna fight it. Okay.
Okay, so
that's
are
Black
going
Knight
to
too,
see,
actually.
Yeah, we're going to see the entire cycle of Black Knight story. I really wanted like a Black Knight DLC rather than Plague Knight or Spectre Knight, because I think that guy has the most interesting like design. I like the doppelganger way of seeing it. Like is cool, but yeah, the fights are all different because the Enchantress is buffing like Black Knight all the time, and the third one is what concerns people. Like the second one, if you have to face it, I feel like in 100% it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, the second fight is basically Black Knight 1, but with more HP. There is not much going for it, and the fact that he's digging dirt is added as well. But yeah. Not much more. Where he gets where he gets way more dangerous is when you are fighting him for the third time. Which is pretty funny because in some people's splits, and mine included, we had the splits with Black Knight number 1 and then Black Knight number 3, and people would be like, "No, wait, it's the second fight you're doing." Yeah, but it's actually, and we're joking about the fight. Yeah, but it's actually the first fight. Yeah.
So for those. Yeah, he is on Polo Knight right now, and this is the most like time sink if you die, and
if you die at the end of it, it's gonna cost you a lot.
And this is where I think you can see how good a player is or how inexperienced it is with a game, because the time difference between like a good player boss rush and the first timer boss rush is huge. Like it's a lot of time. And that's where you want to have a lot of HP. Thankfully, you have those refills between all the bosses, so with the blue armor, it's okay. But yeah, I feel like it is a huge toll for anyone's morale if you die in the boss rush.
It's a nightmare, to be honest. I still happen to die to the boss rush, depending on the order of the boss rush. Good thing to know actually is that Polo Knight will always appear in the 3 first bosses of the boss rush.
Interesting.
Yeah, so for example, if you have 2
totally
fights,
random.
if you, it's not totally random, but only for Polar. The rest is completely random. So yeah, because they considered that the fact that Polo Knight makes spikes appear would be very unfair to players to have him at the end of the boss rush.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Like the devs being like gentle to the players.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, the developers had a lot of consideration for players and speedrunners, like making it less RNG and more like friendly to everyone. Like it's interesting without sacrificing their original design. Like they want to refight and they go with they didn't make Polar Knight easier, but they make it so like the refights start with Polar Knight or close to start with him, so it's better. I like that the way of doing it.
Yeah, and you see Kyuketsuki praying for King Knight last, because there is a saying that if King Knight is last, you have to save him.
Nice. I feel like you should just be able to save one, and the guy you save is going to save the others, so... Like...
Yeah, they could, but yeah, I mean...
You don't know.
Some of them are bad guys to the core, so... Not all of them. Yeah, some guys have some motives that are not nice, let's say. King Knight being one of them.
I'm actually very happy because the race is going to be streamed only for the first 90 minutes. If you like what you see, you can follow the runners and see, like, if you want to see Trinix final few stages, or to see if Wisuki and KTH are going to beat the game in time. You can follow the runners, obviously. You can also follow the UD, and you have like a tab on the website where the live button is on, and you can see all the UD runners running. A lot of runners are on Shovel Knight today because it was just announced, and yeah, but we have a lot of runners. Magic Madman joined us and beat the game in 57 minutes. We got Draconis that finished the game in 1 hour and 10 minutes, and a few other runners are completing the game, but yeah, sub 1 hour is not something easy to do in less than 24 hours, I feel.
Oh yeah, no, clearly not. Like as a reference, well, I started with low percent, but my first low percent run was 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it was fairly long, and it took me like a month and a half to get sub hour. But it was bad at the beginning, like we had not the strats, not the guides, no... So it's very doable to get an hour in a fairly short amount of time, especially with all the guides and videos and stuff you have right now.
Yeah, that's nice. The community is very active. If you like Shovel Knight, you can follow the runners and join the Discord. So, well, there are tons of stuff. I feel like a lot of runners run the game from the start and stick with the game pretty much. Like a lot of people know Smoggy, but a lot of other runners do very good runs. So got the Tassis right now. Like Shovel Knight is a very complete speed game as of 2018.
Yeah, and you have 2 characters. You have you have 3 characters. You have a 4th one coming hashtag soon, because we don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited for King Knight because I feel like it's the only. He is better. He is obviously better than Spectre Knight and Plague Knight. So.
Yeah. Everyone in the community will agree with you actually on that. So don't worry about it.
Cool. Yeah, I know. Like some people approve of Plague Knight and Spectre Knight choices. I don't. So many other were better, but yeah, King Knight is going to be interesting. It's coming out later, like second semester of 2018.
It's 2018. So it's all we know so far.
Okay,
so yeah, they're still working on it, but they want to make sure that the game is good and working without bugs and stuff. So yeah, and we in the community we all agree that they better take their time than throwing a game too soon and just not being playable. So
I totally agree with that. So Lucurata completing the boss rush first try, very nice. He is having King Knight last.
Oh, he saved Treasure Knight. There we go.
Oh yeah, nice. He's saving one, and okay, you heard me. He saves one, and Treasure Knight is going to save the other.
King first to save him first, rather. That's the way it works. Yeah, he saved Treasure Knight, which is cool.
Nice. Okay, so he's entering the last stage where you're going to fight the final boss. KTH having trouble with the Jawa here. We have...
Yeah, he's really dangerous. He's alone, but it's so deadly, especially with the room, the dark room, the fake platforms and stuff like that. It's pretty insane. Well, you can see which platforms are real or not thanks to the rain, but yeah.
Cool. Wizuki on the clock tower. I don't know if that's his last boss. He was doing fine, so I guess it's almost, yeah. And Trinix on Treasure Knight, so he's the last boss of the second world, I think. So everyone is making good progress. I hope KTH is going to have a good fight here against Black Knight.
Yeah.
Black Knight number 3.
And Lucarite is looking very good to get to sub-hour 30 if Enchantress doesn't go too badly.
So yeah, Lucarata is having like a good 10 minutes lead, I'd say. KTH is second, Wizaki is third, and Tronix is fourth. But just amongst like the people we stream, because we have about like 38 runners doing that race. Magic Madman already finished, and Dragons also in second place. The standings are, I just copied them in chat so you can see. And yeah, if you like what you see, this is just the first blind race of the UD Season 6. The whole UD is going to be streamed live on Speed Gaming. I'm commentating the Saturday races and tournaments with Mythical, and today I'm with Xploud. You're here for your ear for his sweet Shovel Knight expertise.
Yeah, and so you can lose a Neo 2 as well, because why not? Usual, you know.
Okay. Wizuki
So
is a proper, Tinker Knight. Okay, if you missed Tinker Knight, you are not going to see much of that, so that's a good time to enjoy a good Tinker Knight Phase 1. While Lucarata is on the Enchantress. The boss is quite tough, isn't he?
The Enchantress? Oh yeah, sure. I wouldn't say it's the hardest boss of the game. I don't think so. But yeah, it's a really long fight when you don't know it. It's the way it gets dangerous, because the longer it gets, the harder it gets. Because you start to get holes everywhere in the platforms. You have Enchantress starting to do that pattern that can be insanely deadly. Because she starts sometimes, depending on your position, throwing diagonal balls, which destroys most of the stage. So.
Okay, I just saw that. Oh no!
Very good kill, actually. Very nice.
Oh, okay, he didn't die. I saw since he was falling, the game would consider that he's dying. But yeah, okay, the double KO works for you.
Yeah, actually, speaking of double KOs, if you double KO a boss, the games will always give you the advantage.
Nice.
And in the boss rush, it will revive you with half an arc. So that's pretty good too.
Okay, cool. So the game is nice to the players. That's nice.
Yeah, always.
So players should not complain about the game being unfair. I feel like in a
it's not unfair. Well, when you start to go for optimal stuff, you're like, oh, those Jawas, those frogs, those slimes. It's so unfair. Jesus. But yeah. Like, usually the game, for what is really big and dangerous, is not unfair. It's usually pretty fair to the player. Oh, going for the Dust Knuckle strats. There you go.
Nice. So yeah, Dust Knuckles.
Really good to know about the Enchantress is when she goes like, she's stomping the ground with her hands. We're gonna see it soon. Or not actually soon. Pretty soon.
She's playing nice with Karata here.
Yeah. He's taking a lot of damage. So there, she's gonna stomp the ground. Actually, you can stay in the middle, where her head is, and she won't touch you. And you jump and pogo her, and that's the way you kill her if you fall on the ground.
Nice. Okay, so cool.
Yeah, only those hands deals damage to you, or if you are on the ground. So when she dives towards you and you are exactly under her, you jump before she stomps the ground and you pogo her, and you won't take a hit.
Okay,
and wow, 121, very nice.
Yeah, very nice time, 121. So the time is exactly when the Enchantress loses her last heart.
Yes.
So yeah, he's played last there. Good to know there's a good auto splitter for auto splitter.
Yeah, there's an auto splitter working. I say working because the problem of the auto splitter is that it tends to not work when there's a new update. But since King Knight is not supposed to come anytime soon, we're safe for now.
Okay, good to know. So yeah, auto splitter working for Shovel Knight. That you can like set up as much like you want. It's Devil Squirrel that made it, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. So good, talented runner, and he makes tools for a lot of games. He has like a good task tool working. He's doing fantastic job. So shout out to Devil Squirrel. And we have like the nice cutscene at the end. So GG Lucarata, I think he's going to take like the third place of our. Oh no, Devil Tifa took the third place. So Lucarata is going to take like Fourth place over Fun Blind first race here on Shovel Knight. Very nice. And yeah, you got the achievement for like the speed run, like sub 1 hour and 30 minutes. Very nice.
Yeah, very well done by Luca, right? Very interesting usage of the Encore, which is nice. As I said, it's not something you see a lot in the 80% route, so always nice to see it.
Yeah, and I'm actually interested because he was not having like the Conjurer armor or any armor at all actually, and he still had a good time. So maybe I'm going to switch to that for now, up until I master like the proper boss skills with the magic, and then I'll be able to do a better job with my extra 50 mana. I think I'm going to do that later today to see. That helps me a little bit not to die too much on the final fights.
Yeah. Moonshine myself like to say that low percent is a very good way to learn any percent. Because you don't have to deal with any items, you don't have to deal with any armors and stuff. And we also suggest that you do low percent but with health upgrade. That way you learn the basic of the game. And you don't have to deal with items and stuff. You just learn the pure basic of the game. You don't have to. If you feel like you can go straight into 20% just, please do so. You're very welcome to do like that. But you feel like, oh, the items are too much. I don't know what armor to get. Yeah, maybe just do low percent with health upgrade. It might help you. Maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like taking a couple of easy to use magic like the wand or maybe just the anchor is going to be a nice boost. But yeah, I totally understand, and that's actually good advice. So good to see. Polar Knight being very dangerous for KTH here.
Yeah, he got through.
Okay, good. Very nice. Yeah, I killed him.
There's also something to know about those plates is that you get a plate with health after each boss. And you get a pot of mana between every 2 bosses. So on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, and well, not on the 8th because that's done. Yeah, you will get 3 pots of mana, but you need to be careful because you need to open those plates to get those mana pots. So for example, if you don't open the first one, you won't get the mana pot of the second one.
Yeah.
And so you have to wait for the 4th one to get the mana pot. So it's a good thing to know.
Okay, so our time has come. It's 6:30 p.m. and we're going to end the stream about now. But thanks a lot first, Explode Your Ear, for being with us. You are going to join us for the entire UD, so maybe...
Yeah, I'm planning to do everything, yeah.
Nice, so you have a good people head start, but you're spending most of your time helping the community, so that's really, that's super appreciated. So thanks a lot for being here and all your help. And please, if you want to see the end of KTH Trainix or Wizuki's run, please follow them on Twitch. They are going to keep going up until they're done with their first race. There are many runners of the UD right now learning Shovel Knight, so if you want to see like some new speedrunners or give them advice or just follow them or even join the UD, you are more than welcome to do so. You have every information with the exclamation mark UD in chat. Yeah, so we have like the final information. Luca Ranta did play casually through the game yesterday, and yeah, so he had a very good run for his second run, and very well done of him. Yeah, we're going to end it here, mute your stream, and see whether when Fizzle is going to get it for you. So thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot again, Explode, and we'll see you in the next one. Thursday we have the first official like more serious race going on speed gaming at 9 p.m. Europe. That's 3 p.m. East Coast time. And then on Saturday with Mythical we are going to have 2 Shovel Knight races in a row. The goal is sub 1 hour for the first week for the players, so we are going to see if they make it and how it goes for everyone. So thanks a lot for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.